Hi, it's me, Language Bay, and you're now watching another interview with another Black bilingual. Today we have Nia. Hi, Nia. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Kind of rainy here, but I'm good. I'm fine.
Where you located?
I'm in Chicago. It,
Chicago. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That's great. All right. So, you're in Chicago. And what's your heritage?
Black, African American.
Listen, I love it. I love it. I always ask that question, and I always I get excited when everybody's like, "I'm black, blackity black, black, black," because
Right.
I
I
just
like
want
that
to,
shirt. It's like I'm black.
right, and I just want everyone to see that you don't have to have a tie to any other country to be able to do this, what we're doing. Um, besides English, did you have another native language or just English?
Just English. Only English is my native language.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then the language that you're studying,
Spanish.
Spanish. Okay. Good. And then if you want, could you tell us a little bit like about like what you do professionally, your education, or if you have a blog or if you have a business, anything that you're doing?
So I actually do. So born and raised here in Chicago. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been here all my life. I work for the federal government as my 9 to 5
Okay.
in compliance, pretty much compliance. So kind of boring things like a lot of those things that you receive when you get hired from different companies. We're the
Mm-hmm.
ones who make sure the companies are actually following the things that they say. That
Okay.
they're giving you all these paperwork and making sure they're actually following it. So that's what I do for my 9 to 5. So it's exciting sometimes, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for business, I teach financial literacy. So I'm a
Okay.
public speaker and author, and I teach about money and budgeting and things like that for my business. And I've been doing it probably about 3 years,
Oh,
like
nice.
formally. Other than that, Spanish, I originally learned Spanish like back in high school. I took 4 years because I was a part of this honors program that you had to take another language, and I chose
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. And then I discovered that I really wanted to learn it, so I picked it back up as an adult.
Okay.
I
All
hope I
right.
answered all your questions.
Yes, no, no, you did. You did. So with taking it all 4 years in high school and as opposed to now that you've gotten to intermediate fluency, so what would you say is like the biggest difference between how you're learning now and how you were learning in high school?
I'm paying attention. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm paying attention. I'm committed to it. I put that extra effort into it. Whereas in high school, I probably just did what my teacher said, just enough to get my grade because that's all I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted was my grade, so that
Mm-hmm.
I could pass.
Right.
It wasn't a commitment like it is now. Now I'm committed to it. I'm serious about it. I'm spending my own money for it because it's something that I value. And I feel like that makes a difference in how you apply yourself with things.
Okay. So would you say you're conversational right now?
Yes,
Oh, that's
absolutely.
good. That's good. Oh,
Absolutely.
then that's gonna come so quick. Like that's the biggest
Yeah.
hurdle. Being able to
Right.
understand what you hear.
Right. That's what I'm working on. So I can have a regular conversation, but if it gets to like speaking past tense, future tense, and the more complex sentence structures, that's where I'm, working on right now. And that's literally what me and because I take lessons, that's literally what we're working on right now. We're working on all the different types of past tense, when to use which one, why you use
Mm-hmm.
which one. Like, and we really want me to master that before we move on to something different. So that and listening, because I get like listening exercises to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Oh,
like
that's
literally what I'm.
nice.
Oh, she's good. I'm telling you, like she has little YouTube clips and I have to listen, and then she creates questions about the YouTube clip and I have to answer the questions back. Like, simple reading comprehension. It's kind of like going to school, like when you originally go, but just learning it in another place. Because that's what you do, like a lot of reading comprehension to make sure that I'm being able to pull the right information and listen and grasp the information being conveyed in the video. So,
oh wow,
I'm excited about it. Like, I feel like it's fun. But originally, I think it's like sometimes fear, like you feel like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I can't do it. But I surprise my teacher sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I promise you, sometimes I'll answer something, or she has me write like small essays or things sometimes. And she'll be like, oh, you use past tense, like, wow, like we just learned that, like, and you use it in a sentence, like on your own, like without me telling you to have to. And she's like really proud. Like, so I feel like once you start doing it and you realize that, oh, I can do this, because we can do whatever we set our heart to be honest.
Yes,
Black people, we can do whatever it is we want to do.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Besides you say what?
We make it happen.
That's true. I wanted to ask, besides the listening, was there anything else that you felt was like a struggle, like a really hard struggle when learning Spanish?
The conjugations, adjusting to, two things, adjusting to the different sentence structures, like how they structure their sentence compared to ours. Like sometimes they put their adjectives behind the subject,
Mm-hmm.
whereas we would put it before. And then when you add the lo and que, in the middle of the sentence. So sentence structure, I think, is one. And the second is conjugating verbs. Because for us, it doesn't matter if you're talking about who you were talking about in past tense. It's the same. If I worked, she worked, they worked, we all worked.
Right, right.
But in Spanish, it's like, no. I worked, she was working, he used to work. Like, so you have to conjugating the verb is different for present, future, past. I feel like that's something to adjust to. But once you really like learn that's what it is and you shift your mind to expect it, mm-hmm. I feel like you're better, like you embrace it and you can receive the information a little bit better.
Okay. Besides your tutor, do you have any like language partners that you practice with, like maybe send text messages or talk to like verbally?
So I do have one language partner. We don't talk as much as we should, but that's what we said we were going to do. I use language partner. I watch videos on YouTube. They have a lot of videos. Like if you type in either what you're trying to learn or if you're just trying to work on listening, they have a lot of helpful videos. I also watch series on Netflix in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And then on YouTube has a feature where you can slow down their speech.
Really?
So if you're listening to something that's in Spanish that's really fast or whatever language you're trying to learn, you can slow down the speech to 0.75 or 0.50 so that they will talk slower. And then maybe as you get a hang of what they're saying, then you move it up faster. So that's a really cool feature. I feel like if you're learning and you're listening to a video of native speakers, it'll help you get more comfortable with pulling those words out.
That's good. I did not know that.
It's a really great feature. And that's another thing. My teacher gives me songs, and I get 4 weeks that I have to memorize the whole song.
Really?
Yeah, I get 4 weeks. I get to keep the same song for 4 weeks. I have to memorize the song, what it means, and then pick out any words in the song that I don't know of so I can get the definitions. But I feel like that's a good thing because that's something, you'll find yourself singing the song and you know what those things mean now. So just trying different things. Like that's the thing. Because sometimes people try stuff, but it doesn't work. So try something else.
Right.
It's so many different avenues that you can use, to be honest.
I like that. I actually used music in the beginning when I first started learning German. I started listening to the German hip hop and the German R&B. And, this is back when, I'm telling my age, this is back when they still had CDs and, they had the lyrics in the booklet, right? So
yes. I was there. I remember.
Oh gosh. And so I would look in the booklet and I would like, okay, read it. And like I wouldn't try to sing along. I'd just listen and read it. And that's how I learned.
And that's a good idea. That's a dope idea. That is. I mean, if we still had a lot of but see now you can Google the lyrics.
Yeah.
And listen to it as you read the lyrics and kind of, same thing.
Right.
Or caption, closed caption or subtitles to whatever you're watching on Netflix or your YouTube, So I feel like that's a good way though. I feel like that's a really good way.
Yeah, I love music. Like I know my neighbors is probably tired of me.
I love music. I sit here, like, and do my work or whatever I'm doing, and I can just really pump stuff out when I'm listening. So I feel like it's a good way to learn. And you'll be interested in it, especially if it's like if you like the beat or you like the way the song goes. It's like, oh, okay.
So out of all the songs she assigned to you, what's the one that you like the most?
It's called Besos Usados.
By who? I'm gonna write that down.
His name is Andrew Cepeda with a C. Besos Usados. It's like he's kind of bitter in the song. But I just like the way he sings it. But he's really bitter. He's mad because they broke up. But I really like this. I like the song itself. Like I even found myself acting silly with it, singing it. Because you know how sometimes Spanish music is like really dramatic, So I even joke around like playing while I'm singing it. But I think that's my favorite. Besos Usados.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, definitely, because I just made a video. I'm gonna post it probably later this week, but I was basically saying like when you do the songs or you reading out loud, like to act it out like with a little feeling, be a little silly. It really does. I mean, in my experience, it really helps you like.
It does. It makes it fun for me, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it makes it easier because that's another part of when you learn a new language too. Getting comfortable with actually saying it out loud.
Yes.
So I feel like if song that you're comfortable with, it makes it easier for you to sing it out loud because you know the words to that song. You know that song front to back. So you'll be more comfortable actually saying it out loud because at first you're kind of like apprehensive, like, oh, what if I say this wrong? Or, what if I pronounce this wrong? But you know that song. So I feel like it's a great way to kind of break that barrier.
That's so, and you know what? And now that you mentioned that, that's another question that I wanted to ask because a lot of people in the group, they've mentioned that they feel intimidated or shy to speak. So I wanted to know, did you ever feel like that? And was it actually the music?
So I have felt like that a lot. Like that's part of the reason that if I had my way, I would literally go live in a Spanish-speaking country for at least 2-3 months. But I'm employed here and I need money, so I have not been able to do that. But because I feel like it's more so, like I say, it's a mind shift. So getting your mind to actually think in another language, that's something I, worked on. And then originally I would be scared to speak around native speakers because I would be scared that they would be critical of me or they'll be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But it's really the contrary. Like they're really happy and excited that you're working to learn their language. And they'll explain it to you and break it down to you and be like, oh no, and even so they'll understand and they'll be able to know like, oh, okay, she's learning. So they'll understand and pick up what you're saying and try to help you. Like they're actually really excited that you're trying to learn their language. The best times that I have though that really makes me is if I go to when I go to a Spanish speaking country and I have no choice but to speak it, I do extremely well. I promise you, I do like when me and my friends go, I'm the translator for the group because if I have no choice but to speak it, it comes out, it flows better. I remember more words because my mind is in, like I say, we make it happen. So my mind is like, oh, we need to do this. So You better think of those words. So I do really well when my mind is like, well, you don't have an option. Don't speak in English. You have to speak in Spanish because they don't understand English. So I feel like things like that. Go visit a country that speaks the language that you are working on speaking, or just immerse yourself in it. I feel like immersion is key.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. I feel like, even if you can't be in the country, you can create immersion environments. It takes a little more effort, but you can do it, and it's very
You can
crucial.
do it. Definitely. Even when you're doing regular things around the house, like you sit in a chair, you say it in that language. Or, especially when you're at home. Maybe you don't want to do it outside yet because you're not comfortable. But when you're at home, you can say, oh, I'm sitting in a chair, or right. I'm going to the kitchen, or let me cook something. But work and practice on saying it in the language that you're trying to learn. And then that way you're actually teaching yourself things.
Right.
Or what my teacher had me do is she had me, because I said conjugations was something that I struggled with, mastering. So she had me write a list of verbs, and I had to conjugate them in all the different types of past tense, and each day learn a word. Each day master a word, but all the verbs, basically. So if you master all the verbs that have to be conjugated, it's like the rest is history. And it's something that you tackle one day at a time. It's not overwhelming. It's not a big group of words at once. Just one word at a day.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds manageable.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not. And it really helps me though. And if you like small wins, if like you're one of those people that like that small motivation, it's perfect, because every day you can say, I memorized a new word every day. A week, you have a whole 7 new verbs you can use in so many different ways. So
that's true. That's a lot. So what are the Spanish-speaking countries you've been to?
I've been to Cuba twice. I've been to Guatemala. I've been to Guatemala, I think, twice. I've been to Mexico twice. I love to travel, so I go to a lot of. Where else have I been? I was supposed to go to Colombia this year. We shall see.
I know.
I'm supposed to go to Colombia though, but yeah. So yeah, Guatemala, Cuba, and Mexico. I think that's all the Spanish-speaking countries that I've been to. I think so.
I have to ask. So how was it in Cuba speaking Spanish? How was it? First of all, how was Cuba in general? And second of all, how was it speaking Spanish?
I love Cuba. I want to go back again.
Yeah.
I would go. Yes, absolutely. I would go back. I love Cuba. I love the culture. I love the people. Because, people always look at us in America like, oh, they're rich. But I feel like they're rich. You know what I mean? Because, like, okay, for instance, when we went, we took a lot of things to give away. Like, we took candy. They love gum, so we brought a lot of chicle, and different things. We took, like, coloring books and baseballs and
that's amazing.
Kids, because it was 5 of us. So all of us filled our book bags up. Like, each of us had a book bag full to give out. And we bought candy, but we bought like the bag of the bite-sized candies, because we figured like that way we could give out more than if we got big candy bars. Do you know they still broke the bite-sized candies out to share with their friends?
Oh my God.
I said I would have never.
I would have never thought of it either.
I said my friend would. I'm like, what? Like, what you want? Like, we gave him. He was like, oh my God. And you could tell he hadn't had it for a long time, but he was like, oh, M.A., because we had M&Ms and everything. And then he still was like, oh, mira, and gave it out. The bite size.
Wow.
I was like, I need to do better with my life. I was like, Yeah, so I just love the people, like the way that they were like that, and I felt like that was like, oh, that's so dope that they even still like I haven't had it in a while, something I really want, but I'm still gonna take care of my people. So I thought that was really dope. Speaking Spanish there, of course you have to adjust because all these different Spanish speaking countries have different accents. So adjusting, but see that's the thing. Like I say, if they learn, I learned how to say I'm learning how to speak Spanish so I can understand you, but I need you to speak slower.
Right.
And that's just the disclaimer I gave everybody, and they all complied with. Like I say, they're excited that they can communicate with you. Like they're happy to communicate with you. So once I just gave everybody that disclaimer, I really didn't have as many issues because they were use regular words, they were use slower speech, and so I was able to understand. They didn't, they didn't speak as rapid as they normally would. So it actually was really good because our Airbnb that we stayed in, our like housekeeper, they stayed there. So I was the one who had to communicate everything, between us.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely a great way to practice. And it was a good experience. And I felt good though. I felt proud too. Like my friends were like, oh, look at you. And I was like, oh yeah. Look at me. Relax. Yeah, I did that.
Yes. So happy. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I love Cuba though. I want to go back again. I do.
I'm just like so stuck. I'm like, that's amazing to me. And like this is the stuff that I want to showcase. You know what I'm saying? Like you just like me, regular degular schmegular Black woman from the US.
Really,
and you're going to another country and you're like speaking Spanish.
I grew up in the urban part of Chicago. Like you said, just another person, a single parent of my daughter is 18. She'll be 19 next month.
Oh my gosh. I would never guess that you had a daughter that was 18.
But I'm just saying, I'm just a little regular person. Is nothing, I'm not saying there's nothing special about me, but it's like nothing that I can do that someone else can do. Like it really is whatever you want to do. If you want to do it, you definitely can get it done. And even if it take a while, because like I say, I dropped it, I picked it back up, as you start back up, it's like they say, like when you work out, you have muscle memory. When you start back up, you start remembering words and it starts to come back to you and you it refreshes your memory and you're good.
Have you had any opportunities in the US? Anything that happened that wouldn't have happened if you didn't know any Spanish?
Have I had any opportunities? More so things that have happened where I've kind of helped people. So like maybe because I do live now on the north side of Chicago, which is it's like a melting pot. So maybe someone like this guy, we were at the laundromat and his phone, what was wrong with his phone? Something was wrong with his phone that he was trying to do and he couldn't get it done. So I don't know what made him ask me, but he ended up asking me. And of course, everything on his phone was in Spanish, everything. And he only spoke Spanish. So helping him navigate to fix, I can't remember what it was on his phone because it was a while ago. But he was so happy. Like when I fixed it and I gave it back to him, he was like he was, I don't remember what it was, but to me that felt good that I was able to do that. And I wouldn't be able to say like, we were just standing there looking at each other like, so to be able to help and assist. So things like that have happened where maybe someone was needing direction somewhere, looking for something. And the fact that I was able to say, oh, okay, I know some Spanish, and talk to them. Because like I say, once they know that you're learning, they act accordingly. They will use smaller words. Or like if you know somebody learning English, you're not going to use like the highest words in your vocabulary. You're going to use words that you know will be easier for them to understand. So they basically do the same thing, and we're able to communicate, and I'm able to help. So that I appreciate. And like with my business, my goal, of course, would be to give speeches and be able to go do speeches in Spanish speaking venues as well.
You'll get there.
Yes, and that would be awesome. Like I'm really stoked and ready. Like I really want to do that. That was a big goal for me.
You can do that. You know what that made me think of? That made me think of Shirley Chisholm when she was running for president. She was fluent in Spanish, and she used to also give her political speeches in Spanish to reach the community.
So one of our politicians, because you know everybody's team quarantine right now, in press conferences, and one of the politicians, I don't want to misquote what her specific office is, but we did the press conference, the governor spoke, the mayor spoke, and she came on to speak about it from her, and then she finished, and she was a doctor, and when she finished, she was of African American descent, and when she finished, then she did the Spanish version, and if you would see the comments in the live,
what? I believe it. I believe it.
Did she just come out with Spanish? Like, she blew the whole entire audience away. It blew them away because they just did not, I guess, expect. But she did the English version, finished very eloquent, and then went straight into the Spanish and did the whole speech that she had said in full Spanish. And everybody in the comments was sounding off like, oh, okay, like clapping for her. And I was like, oh, I was proud. Like, oh,
you can do it. I love to hear stuff like that. I love to hear it. And it's so crazy to me. It's like, I don't understand why people get so shocked. And this is part of the reason why I made this platform, because when I was learning languages as a kid, I was learning Spanish. I'm from Brooklyn. So, we was living in Bushwick, it's nothing but Puerto Ricans. You hear Spanish all day. I picked up Spanish because of that. And then I started learning French in junior high school and high school. And it was just kind of like, I would be like, oh, I know some Spanish. And I also keep, I know French. I keep a diary in French. And people would be like, black people don't be learning languages. Like, black girls don't be learning languages.
They do now.
They've been doing it. It's just now we have the technology to connect with each other, but we've been doing it.
True. That's true.
Because I can't tell you how many people write me on Instagram or whatever. I'm so glad I found your community. I just felt so isolated. I just felt like I was the only black woman that was passionate about languages. And a lot of people love the group because now they have someone to share these language memes with.
Correct. And even though it's always great to have people that's going through the same thing as you, so they can share the frustration, or even somebody might be able to say, oh, I had that problem. This is what I did when I had that problem. Right. And it might be like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, okay, I'm going to try that. Like that, you need that community. Definitely.
You do. And I see that in the group. Like Leah posted, hey, Leah's a Spanish teacher. She actually was working at, I think, a Spanish charter school. So her Spanish is impeccable. And she had said something about, hey, guys, I'm having an issue with, I don't know what happened, but I've been watching, series on Netflix in Spanish, and I'm having problem understanding, and I don't understand why, because I've been teaching Spanish. I'm fluent. Like there's, I've been doing this. I'm true to this, not new to this, but I don't get it. And a lot of people chimed in the group. Oh, I have that issue too. This is something that helped me. Maybe just put the subtitles on for a little while. It may just be that specific series, or it might be a dialect that you're maybe not used to. Don't get discouraged. It doesn't mean you're not fluent. So I know for her, she felt like, okay, so that's the validation that I need, that my level is nothing wrong with it. I'm actually am, so not only I got the validation now, I also have suggestions on what may help me overcome this.
Correct. And it makes a huge difference. My favorite saying I tell people all the time, your network determines your net worth. You got to keep those people around you, because that makes a big difference. Like somebody who's learning a language, and to have so many other people around you that are learning language too, you don't feel odd. You feel normal. You feel, this is where I belong. Like, okay, well, what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. You know what I mean? It gives you definitely that sense of belonging, which really makes a difference.
It does, because learning a language can feel isolating, especially when you're the only one and you don't see anyone that looks like you doing it.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Because people still like, even, some people are surprised still. Like you say, like when the lady spoke and the way they sounded off in the comments, like, and it shouldn't be surprising. It should be like, oh, well, okay, she just speaks another language. Like, they sounded off.
Yeah. I mean, like even at my job, when I was working at the New York branch, because I'm in Germany right now at the headquarters, but when I was working at the New York branch, and they were like, they loved to show me off to whoever. Oh, this is Shahida. She speaks German. Like that was like it was crazy because it was just like, I guess they would never expect somebody that looks like me to speak German. You know what I mean? It's like with Spanish, because there's people that look like us that speak Spanish natively. So it's like if I start saying something in Spanish, they're not gonna bat an eyelash. If I say something in French, because of Haiti, it's a lot of Haitians that speak, Creole, and they also speak French. They're not gonna bat an eyelash. But once we start speaking Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, Korean, once we start speaking those things, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop the world. What's going on?
Agreed.
But I mean,
agreed.
right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes the thing is when they know for a fact. Now, if they know that you're just regular, degular, schmegula black girl, then when you do start speaking Spanish, it's like, wait a minute, hold the world. But if they don't know you, a lot of times they just hear it, they just assume, oh, okay, she must be from Dominican Republic or something.
Right, Dominican, Colombian, one of, pretty much.
I've had that happen, like, cause I wear this. This is like my favorite go-to type of wig, this wet and wavy, whatever. And so whenever I wear this, like people, like in New York, whatever, they just think like I'm Dominican or something. And I used to work at Sephora on Fifth Avenue, and this lady came in, couldn't speak no English. She walked up to me and she was like, she said in Spanish, I'm looking for the cheapest makeup you got in here. I'm thinking to myself, you need to go to Dwayne Reed across the street then, because you in the wrong place.
You need to be at Ulta. Ulta might be an option for you, but Sephora?
You're not gonna find it. And I couldn't, and the thing is, I understood what she was saying, but I couldn't think of the words to tell her, like, you need to go to Dwayne Reed. So I told her, I said in Spanish, I said, listen, I don't really speak Spanish that well, but I'm gonna get you someone that speaks Spanish. And the thing is, because like my accent's really good, they don't hear it. All they hear is me speaking Spanish. Then they start, and I'm like, listen, because I understand what you're saying, but I can't respond back, and I want to help you. And I kept telling her, ma'am, listen, I don't speak. I kept telling her, señora, no hablo español muy bien. Lo siento. No. Just help me. And I'm just like, I'm trying to tell her, like, ma'am, I can't help you because I don't speak Spanish. I understand you. And I told her, I said, I don't speak Spanish. I said it in Spanish because I was trying to, you at work, you trying to like not be seen as rude. I'm trying to, and she was like, I told her, I said, my Spanish is very bad, right? Because I said, maybe if I say that, she will understand. She told me, I don't care, just help me. She wouldn't let me get nobody. And then she was like touching my hair. She was like, oh my God, you're so pretty. You from Dominican Republic? And I'm just like, didn't I just tell you I don't speak no Spanish? Like, I understand her, but you know how like sometimes, has that happened to you? Like you understanding everything, but you can't get the words out?
But see, I feel like that's like the initial part when you first when you're learning, because it's like that mental shift. That's why I keep saying that mental shift, because even if I understand what you're saying, at first I was still want to respond in English. Like, so even though I'm understanding what you're saying, I comprehend fully, and I know the answer.
Right.
But I'm still, my mind is like answering English. It's like that Kermit the Frog meme. It's like, no Spanish. Here's it, understand. And me. English. And it's a big process to shift over into speaking, and that's why I feel like that immersion comes in. I think that it assists with that, but it's still going to take, like, it's not going to be like, oh, you immerse yourself for a week and now you got it. Like, I feel like you have to consistently, like, just make it a part of your regular life, and I feel like it comes back in.
All right, well, We're getting close to the end of the list. So my next question is, you actually gave so many tips, but out of all the tips, what are the three most important tips that you would say to somebody who's learning Spanish or any language?
Be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Find your mojo. Like, find out what works for you. Because you go to all these different places, you can Google it, and people always list off like the cookie cutter. Oh, if you want to learn language, this is what you need to do. But it also depends on you. You might be an audio learner, you might be a visual learner. You know, you have to find your niche, what works for you, and what, you know, and then be committed. Like, I feel like my tips are things that, like, yeah, I gave tips already, like you say, about, you know, different ways to do it, but none of those will work if you're not committed, if you're not, you know, consistent, and if you don't take the persistency to actually find out what works for you. Right. Because everything's gonna work for everybody. You know, like me, everybody always says watch telenovelas. I cannot watch. I do not like drama.
Really? You don't?
I can't stand telenovelas. I cannot watch them.
I love, oh my God. Soraya.
So, you know, that's the first thing everybody tells you. Oh, just watch the Spanish soap operas. I cannot watch that because I cannot, I'm not going to pay attention because I don't like drama and they're too dramatic for me. So that's what I mean. Like,
they do be over the top. I ain't gonna lie. They do be a little over the top. They do, you know,
be. They do. Can't deal. So I had to find what works for me. So I've watched like Celia, Wild District. Yes, I watched Celia.
I love Celia. Speaking of which, do you know if it's still on Netflix? Because the thing is with me, because I'm in Germany, I don't have access to the American Netflix. I have to pay a VPN to get access. So I just wanted to know if it's still on Netflix, because I don't want to pay the VPN and then it's not on Netflix no more.
I don't know, but I can check when we get off this interview and I can email you and let you know.
Okay, yeah, sure, that'll be great. Yeah, but I love that show. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That show is amazing.
No, and then I watch Wild District, which is more so like action, detective, you know, which is more my speed. So you got to find out what works for you. I think it's key. Because don't force yourself to do something. You're not going to stay committed to something that you're just forcing yourself to do.
That's true. You're absolutely right about that. Oh my God. Well, Nia, thank you so much for taking the time out to come and share with the community your experience.
I think it's so dope. Like, it's important for us to see, like, for one, we're not alone, is other people doing it, and that it can be done. Like, I mean, salute to you for even doing it. And then, like, being multilingual, like, that's an accomplishment that you wanted to, and you stuck with it, and you did it, and now you're creating a platform for others. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Oh my God, thank you so much. But before we go, are you reachable on social media, or are you incognito? What are you doing?
On social media, I just always give out like my business info. Like, if somebody wanted to send it from my, it's the Coins Cache, which is on Facebook. It's Coins Cache, Coins CACHE.
Oh, that's nice.
So computer cache, Coins Cache. And that's what you can look for, the Coins Cache on Facebook.
Okay, cool, good. So we know we can follow you on social with the Coins Cache. That's nice. That's clever.
I mean, like, if they don't want to like because they're not interested there, they can just send a message there and say like, oh, I saw you on the YouTube interview, you know, and ask whatever question.
All right, cool. That's so good. Thank you so much. And I guess see you guys next time.
Bye.